Hello, students. You are welcome to Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. In this math class, we'll be looking through linear inequalities. So, remain seated while you enjoy the class.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
Linear inequalities. It sounds familiar to something you've learned before, linear equation, maybe a few weeks back, or during your your junior secondary school days. Inequalities. Our learning objective, students will be able to differentiate between linear inequalities and linear equations. Solve basic linear inequalities and solve linear inequalities involving fractions. So take note of those things. What do we call linear inequality? A linear inequality is a mathematical statement that compares two expressions using inequality sign. Unlike linear equation, where we have two expressions and we have equal sign in between. In linear inequality, rather than having equal sign, we have inequality sign. It can be less than, it can be greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So when we have two expressions being compared, when we compare two expressions using inequality sign, we are talking about linear inequalities. So now we know what it is like. Something of this. This looks like linear equation if we had put equal sign here. But now we are saying what is at the left hand side for a particular value of x is less than what is at the right hand side. So our interest is to determine that value of x. Same as this, that is, this left hand side is greater than or equal to the right hand side for a particular value of x. Unlike linear equation, where we have just one value that satisfies x. In linear inequalities, we may have range of values because we are comparing. We are not looking for exact unique solution. Problems involving linear inequalities are solved in a similar manner like linear equation. We solve it just the way we solve linear equation, except that when we come across negative number, that is, if we are multiplying both sides of the inequalities by negative number, the inequality sign will change. If it, let's say you have greater than before you get to that point, when you multiply or you divide by negative number, what you then turn to is less than. We'll learn that in this class today. All right, we have this. Solve the following inequalities. We have the one of just straight linearly, and we have the ones that involve fraction. So let's take it step by step. So that it can be easy for us. The solution to the very first one, where we have 5x minus 6 is less than 10 plus 3x. Dear students, let's learn one thing. Many of us will say it's my handwriting. WAEC, do not listen to that. Take note of this sign and this sign. You may use them interchangeably and you are using them wrongly. If the base of this is straight and this one open mouth like this, you are discussing angle. But here, they must both open mouth, and that's when you are discussing inequality. Take note of that. So here now we have this. The very first thing or the next thing for us is to collect like terms. Let's collect like terms. That means we have 5x staying at the left hand side. Bringing this to this side becomes negative 3x. While we maintain that sign, remember, It has to open out. That's 10. This is negative 6. When you take it to this side, it becomes positive 6. Now, when you subtract 3x from 5x, you get 2x. Exactly. 2x less than or equals to, what do we have? 16. Just like our linear equation that we've learned a few weeks back, here we are dividing both sides of the inequalities by a positive number, so the sign will not change. We are dividing both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 2. So we have 2x divided by 2 less than 16 divided by 2. So here we have x less than 8. And that is the solution to this inequality. What does that mean? This is telling us that for any value that is less than 8, this left-hand side is less than the right-hand side of the inequalities. Remember, this is not equation, this is inequality. It compares two expressions using inequality sign. So what are the possible values that can tell us that this left-hand side is less than the right-hand side? The value of x must start from 7 down, 6, 5, 4. So those are the values that can make these statements true. Because it's saying x is less than 8. Very good. So let's take the second one, which is the fraction. Here we have it as 2 open bracket x minus 1, all divided by 3 minus 3 open bracket x minus 2 close bracket greater than or equal to 1. So the simple and the easy thing to do here, we may want to first open the bracket, which is good. It becomes 2x minus 2 all divided by 3 minus 3x minus 6 all divided by 4 greater than or equals to 1. Now, we look at the LCM of the denominators, 3 and 4. So what is the LCM of 3 and 4? Yes, 12. So now that we've gotten the LCM, we then use that LCM to multiply each term that we have here. So if I multiply this by 12, that is, I'm multiplying the whole of this by 12, so it becomes 12 multiplied by 2x minus 2 divided by 3 minus 12 multiplied by 3x minus 6 divided by 4. I will also multiply this 1 by 12. So 12 times 1, 12. It's easy. 3 goes here, 1. 3 goes here, 4. So 4, open bracket, 2x minus 2. That is done. Minus 4 goes here, 1. 4 goes here, 3. So you use that 3, open bracket, 3x minus 6 greater than or equals to 12. The next thing for us is to open the bracket. Very easy. 4 multiplied by what we have here, that will be 8x minus 8 minus, you open bracket here, 9x. This will be plus because we have negative and negative here. That's 18 greater than or equals to 12. Now it's easy for us to say 8x minus 9x, right? You are owing 9x, you pay 8x. That means you have 1x left that you are owing. Minus x. Here, this is negative 8 plus 18. You are owing 8, you have 18 with you. When you pay your 8, you have 10 left. That's plus 10 greater than or equals to 12. So from here, we can say we collect like terms, or we say subtract 10 from both sides. At this left-hand side, if I subtract 10 from this, I will have minus x alone greater than or equals to 12 minus 10. So we have minus x is greater than or equals to, when we take away 10 here, 2. Now our interest is not in minus x. Our interest is to find the value of x. So here, recall the rule. When you divide or you multiply the size of inequality by a negative number, the inequality sign is going to change. What are we saying? If we have it here, so what we are doing now is that minus x is being divided by minus 1. The next thing is that this greater than or equals to becomes less than or equals to 2 divided by minus 1. The sign is changing because we are dividing both sides by negative 1. So this one becomes x is less than or equals to minus 2. So which tells us that the value of x that can satisfy this inequality is that x is less than or equals to minus 1. Now this is inclusive inequalities. Inclusive inequalities. X is less than or equals to minus 2. That means among the possible values of x, we will have minus 2 included. So let's try to list the possible values. Minus 2, minus 1, 0, minus 2, minus 3. Minus 3, sorry. It's starting from minus 3. So those numbers that are less than negative 2, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, those ones are less than negative 2 because x are values that are less than or equals to negative 2. Take note of that. So those numbers that are less than, very good. Now that we've learned this, we should be able to try some problems on our own. Okay, let's look at practice question. So let's take our time, just a few minutes. You can decide to pause this video while you go through this on your own. Let's see what you can make of them. The very first one says we should solve these inequalities. Remember, when we come across inequalities like this, the very first thing, we open the bracket. So let's open the bracket. When we open the bracket, this becomes, you are using 5 to multiply all the terms. That is 10x minus 5 plus 3 is less than or equals to 8x minus 8. So let's simplify for that. We have 10x. When you do this, it gives us minus 2 less than or equals to 8x minus 8. Very good. So what do we do next? Interesting, we collect like terms. So we have 10x Bringing this 8x to the left-hand side, it becomes negative 8x less than or equals to this negative 8. It will remain negative 8 because it's still at the right-hand side of the inequalities. Negative 8. We are bringing this negative 2 to the other side of the inequalities. It becomes positive 2. So here we are left with subtract 8x from 10x. You have 2x less than or equals to. So this we have negative 6. Then we can divide both sides of the inequality by the coefficient of x. That's 2x divided by 2 less than or equals to minus 6 divided by 2. So what would that be? We then have x is less than or equals to negative 3. What is that telling us? This is telling us that the value of x that satisfies this inequality starts from negative 3 downward. That is, any value from negative 3 down is the value of x that satisfies this inequality. So what are those values? Yes, negative 3. It starts from there because it's an inclusive inequality. Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on. Those are values less than negative 3. Interesting. Did you do the same thing? All right. Let's take a look at the second question where we have this. It involves fraction. Very good. Here we can say we want to cross multiply the way we always do it in our inequality. So it's good. In our linear equation, we can do it that way. This is something that will work. However, you may also say, I want to multiply both sides by the LCM of the denominators. I enjoy it when students do the LCM of denominators. However, I also want to borrow your own idea. We cross multiply, right? So cross multiply is easy for us because it's just one term at the left-hand side and one term at the right-hand side. If there are more than one term, please, we are not going to cross multiply. We'll find the LCM, then multiply through by the LCM. So here is just a term. It's just a term here. I'll multiply, crossing it, it becomes 2 multiplied by 4 plus x. Then I will say this is less than or greater than or equals to 5 3x minus 1. Next, we open the bracket. Opening the bracket, it becomes 8 plus 2x greater than or equal to 15x minus 5. The bracket is gone. So here we can say, let's collect like terms. You are free to pack your terms involving x to any side of the inequalities. You're free. For me, I would look like, okay, 15x is greater than 2x. Let 2x go to that side. So greater than or equals to 15x minus 2x. While this side, 8 remains here, and the 5 comes to this side, become plus 5. When you do this, this gives you 13 greater than or equals to, this is also 13x. Isn't that interesting? So if I divide through by 13, remember 13 goes here 1, 13 goes here x. So I will have 1 is greater than or equals to x. Then how do I rewrite it that will have x at the right hand side? Let's first understand this. This means 1 is greater than or equals to x. So because 1 is greater than or equals to x, that means x is less than 1, right? statement 1 is greater than or equals to x. So if I want to reverse it, I will say x is less than or equals to 1. So which can be written as x less than or equals to 1. All right, now we understand this. However, let me point us to something. Here, I cross multiplied. Like I said earlier, it is not always advisable. However, if you are using that format, once you multiply this by this, let it go to that side. 2 cross multiply to this side, let it come to the right hand side. Don't make mistake of saying 5 multiplied by 3x minus 1. You now keep that at the left hand side here. No, it's not done. Or you say 2x to this, 2 multiplied by 4 plus x, you now keep it to the right hand side. No, it's not done. It goes to meet it here, so it comes here. This goes to meet it here, it stays there. You might have been trying that in linear equation and is working for you. It is not so. It is not mathematically right. So let's do it right, like mathematics students that we are.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
Thank you. We've come to the end of today's class. So for your comments, your questions, your suggestions, don't forget to send those comments to us using our social media handle as they are being displayed right beneath your TV screen. Till we come your way next time, keep learning mathematics.
Thank you.